That was so funny, dude. It reminded me of like electing someone for like the PTA or something. It was just so like wholesome,
Yeah,
you
I put
know.
up
Very
10
democratic.
posters. Like, I
Yeah.
campaigned really hard. I put up 10 posters. They were really nice posters, too.
Welcome back to the Cinema So Far podcast, the podcast where good friends talk about great cinema. I'm your host, James, and today we have Sydney.
What up? I'm Sydney.
We got Paul.
Yo!
We have Travis.
Hey, what's up, Raiders?
Yes. And today we are covering Fallout Season 1, Episode 5. And this episode was entitled The Past. Let me just read a synopsis really quick so we can get started here. In this episode, Lucy joins forces with Maximus to find Thaddeus, who basically took off with the head. Meanwhile, Betty becomes the overseer of Vault 33 and reassigns part of the population to Vault 32. That is what IMDb says about this episode. It was directed by Claire Kilner, written by Carson Mell and Chaz Hawkins, and I just really want to know what you guys think about this episode because last episode we talked about it being a real turn for a lot of us as far as us getting more interested in what was going on with the characters, or maybe even just the story, kind of the mysteries that unfolded. What did you guys think about this episode?
I thought it brought up more questions than it answered.
Yes, it did. What were some of those questions that you were asking yourself as you're watching this?
Well, I mean, ultimately, at the end, but they're talking about where the bomb looks like it went off. There's the crater. They don't really give you much information. She wants to know, hey, what's happened in the last 200 years? And he says, what do you mean 200 years? This happened while I was a kid. So there's still some, trying to figure out of the time frame of what's going on. And then also, the repopulation of New California, and then the vault questions.
Dun dun dun.
He's laying it all out there. Spoiler alerts.
Yeah. Yeah. There was a lot of questions that came up in this episode. What did you guys think? What about you, Sid?
This has probably been my favorite episode so far in the series. I can't believe we're already at episode 5. The merging paths of Lucy and Maximus is really interesting to me. So I am interested to see how that progresses further. More on that later, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Some of their overall thoughts. Okay. Awesome. And what about you, Travis?
Yeah, I think it probably like Sydney. It's probably the best episode so far. I know it I don't think it jumped around as much as some of the episodes, but it is laying out the events that are to unfold.
Yeah, and something that I think something Paul said in a previous episode is he was kind of looking forward to where the stories converge, and it really felt like that happened in this episode. Like you said, Sydney, like we've been following Lucy, we've been following Maximus, and then now they're together again, even though they just briefly met at that shootout in the in Philly earlier. But now they're actually like traveling together. And that's really interesting.
And you see her changing too. So she's becoming more cautious now. She wasn't sure about Maximus. And while he was in a suit, like, how can I trust you? How do I know you're going to tell me the truth, et cetera, et cetera. Meanwhile, she ends up passing out. Well, she lets him out and then passes out. And then he does what he said he would do. But
right.
I definitely think there's the good and evil. She's starting to turn to where she's becoming a realist more. And then you have Maximus, who is basically, he decides what's best for him at certain times, and sometimes it works out good, sometimes it works out for him, sometimes it may work out for others, but I think he's always looking at himself first. But I think he made some comments in the episode of saying, she was saying, hey, how people in the vaults are naive, and the worst thing that can happen is somebody doesn't say thank you for to you. And he's like, that would be a great place to live.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
they're kind of looking at each other's worlds differently now.
Definitely, like the Wasteland is rubbing off on Lucy a little bit now, right? Like before she trusted everyone,
right?
And now she's like, I don't know about that.
I really liked how she acknowledged the naivete of the vault. She is aware that she's very sheltered, and seeing her character change and toughen up and evolve is cool to watch.
But yet when they came upon I don't remember what they called those two people that were
fiends.
The fiends. Yeah. When they came upon the fiends, she was still very innocent of, hey, we do have weapons. Well, don't tell them that. And, she was walking like she wasn't going to do anything. She wasn't prepared for anything to happen. And Maximus had to do what was necessary because she wasn't ready to do it.
That was one of my favorite scenes. Like, that was so funny.
Awesome. So choice with the music, and it looked like they were dancing, walking down the train tracks. Yeah.
It was hilarious.
I think I busted out a laugh. I was just like, I couldn't believe they were playing that, and the way they were walking. I was just like, this is hilarious.
And there was another music drop that really made me laugh, but we'll get to that once we start the recap. But yeah, I think overall the episode, like you guys said, like, yeah, you're kind of starting to see the Wasteland rub off on Lucy, and her just, as she's interacting with people. This is what the ghoul predicted, right? Like a couple episodes ago, he was basically saying like, well, we'll see how you are once you kind of stay out here long enough, like the rest of us, and that's starting to really play out. Are you guys ready to get into the recap then, since we got some of our overall thoughts there?
Yeah, we're jumping in. We've already got to the ending.
All right. Yeah, let's jump in. So we open with Maximus and Thaddeus having the most uncomfortable conversation two men can have in the Wasteland. Thaddeus wants to be branded by who he thinks is Knight Titus, right?
Right.
And Maximus is trying to maintain his act, but he goes along with it. And it was really weird to me that, and this is again like just really good writing, where they were really kind of like talking about it like it was almost like, like they were gonna have sex or something. Like it was the way they described it.
Are you sure?
Yeah, are you sure? Man? I'm tired. Yeah. No, let's do it. Is it gonna hurt? Maybe a little. It was just really weird, right?
Yeah.
And also the weird thing. Well, not weird, but when he's talking as Titus from the suit, like he just sounds like a dick. Like he sounds like the other guy that he took the suit from.
He sounds like Michael Rappaport.
But then when he comes out of the suit, or they show him in the suit, he's not giving off that same. It's the voice, I guess, is part of the deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
he's playing the part because that's just the culture there that they live in the Brotherhood. He's trying to live up to what the Squire is saying that he is.
And he's kind of like putting on a voice too, like inside
a little bit.
Yeah, where the voice is modulated or whatever. Right. So it's kind of hidden, but he still is kind of like inside trying to act like Knight Titus, which is really, it doesn't last very long, obviously, because Maximus goes ahead and brands Thaddeus, as he's asking for him to. He really wants it. And when he brands him, dude, that scream that Thaddeus puts out there, I was just like, dude, he's a scream queen. He's like getting, he's up there with Jamie Lee Curtis or something.
Wow.
That scream was hilarious. And basically, once that happens, then Maximus makes this rookie mistake where he gets just way too honest and is just like, hey, by the way.
Well, he says
I'm Maximus.
we have to get our story straight.
Yeah.
Because he
well,
knows
once
he knows he's going to be found out eventually. So,
Yeah.
let's go into this together so we have the story of what happened to this other guy and et cetera, et cetera.
What did you guys think about that? Were you thinking like, oh, yeah, it's, they're sharing this moment. It's okay for him to kind of open up and say who he is? Or were you also thinking like, no, it's too soon?
I don't know.
I just love that this whole episode opened up with these two knuckleheads, know. I was when he was revealing like who he really was, I really thought he might be cool with it. Thaddeus, like, oh, okay, but no, no, it was total opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Not
it
what
was
he was expecting.
basically like Maximus was back at the training grounds getting beat up and picked on, like this is the guy, this is Knight Titus. No, I don't think so. I'm not having any part of you. And he, they get into a little scuffle.
Yeah, so they start fighting, and Maximus gets knocked into the power suit, but he is, in the skirmish, he basically tramples Thaddeus's foot, which, dude, later on you see how horrible that is, but it just looks like he got his foot stepped on in the moment. And then
was he holding it in his hand?
What?
Did he pick what was he holding? Oh, the head. He had his head.
Yeah, he had the head,
Oh,
but what was really crazy is like Thaddeus in the fight, he ends up pulling that what is it, like the power core out of the suit and locks Maximus in there. And
savage,
dude, so savage.
And
that was just straight
off.
up nightmare fuel for me, like being stuck like that. It's kind of like it reminded me of Kill Bill, where she gets put in the coffin and buried underground, and like you just can't move. Dude, that freaks me out.
Absolutely.
Claustrophobic, just sitting on the couch and watching it.
Yeah. Like you can't move at all. You can't scratch your ass. You get a cramp. You can't do anything about it. You can barely breathe. That just seemed horrible.
Well, not to mention that, not only that, but you thought you were bonding, and then that gets kind of like ripped away when you're like, oh, this guy is like true to the Brotherhood, and like I can't believe you did this, and like you kill, and like is like gonna turn him in, but then he's in the suit, but it's just back to schoolyard. His bully just scampers around and locks him in there.
Yeah.
Like, it's like crazy how that just came together.
Because Thaddeus has always been about that life. Go ahead, Sid.
My view switched from the start of the show. Now the Brotherhood and the Wasteland is my favorite part. It used to be the vault and seeing all that was happening in the vault. Now it has switched, so I didn't expect that to happen.
Yeah, it made it more interesting, right? Because Thaddeus is about that life. Like, he is about the Brotherhood. If you remember, like in the previous episode, he was ready to just go and go walk out to that monster, in the lake or whatever. Like, he was just going to do it without even being asked to. And then now that he feels like Maximus betrayed the Brotherhood in a way, he's just like, nah, fuck that. Like, I'm taking this thing, I'm taking the head, and I'm out of here.
And I'm
just gonna leave
behind.
you trapped.
Right.
Yeah.
Leaving you to the cockroaches.
Yes, dude. Yes.
And he was like, you should have killed me. You should have killed me. As he was walking away with the head, like, you try harder.
And he's limping away, dude, as his foot has just been smashed to hell.
That's a lot of blood loss for sure is going to be happening.
But he's a G. He just kept walking.
Oh my God.
And so, yeah, like you mentioned, Paul, so Maximus is trapped in that suit. The roaches start, climbing on him. It's the morning, so he's been in there for a while. and it really feels like they're gonna find like a soft spot or some kind of pocket where they're actually able to penetrate the armor.
Yeah.
And
I
he's
thought
getting
there's
really
no
worried.
way.
Yeah, he was sweating bullets. You know, he was like looking around like, I cannot do anything. You know, I am stuck here. I can't move, and if they get in here somehow, I'm
Ooh.
screwed.
Yeah, completely helpless, right? What were you gonna say, Travis?
Oh, you're good.
Okay, so just then, just as these roaches are just on him, right? Lucy arrives. She shoots him, stomps him, gets rid of him, and
She stomped on that one a whole bunch of times.
She did.
That was where I saw that it switched, where she was like, I'm in this. Like, that's the switch we were talking about, where like when she stomped that thing a million times, I was like, that was a little overkill, but okay.
She's not afraid of him anymore. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she's kind of leveled up in that way, right? And she's heroic, and which is on brand for Lucy, right? Like, she's a straight up hero. And yeah, and that's the last we see of that scene. Then we go back to the vaults.
Well,
Vault 30,
hold on.
Vault 33.
There was some more going on, because
Okay.
this is kind of when you start to see her being a little leery of, how do I know that you're telling me the truth? She was unsure that she wanted to let Maximus out of the suit.
Yeah.
And he said, hey, you need to let me out because I have medicine that'll save your life, basically. And she's
unofficially sponsored.
There was this like really cool back and forth bargaining being made over the train tracks, and there was that scene with the rainbow behind them while they were shaking hands. I'm still just so back and forth on this Maximus guy.
Yeah.
One part I'll really be like, okay, maybe, and then the next round, no, he's no good.
Well, and she says, if we can go get the head, you'll get me 5 guys, 5 nights to go, and we can go, all together and fight whatever. So that was part of what their agreement was.
Yeah. She decides to team up with Maximus, right? And sorry, because I have it in my notes, like, because in the editing they switch back and forth. They'll go back to the vaults and they'll go back to Lucy and Maximus. So that's kind of how I have it there. But yeah. So whenever Lucy, wakes up, she agrees to team up with Maximus to go find Wilzig's head and to go find Thaddeus. Even though Maximus basically, started this off with a lie. He continued, she says, hey, what's your name? And he's like,
yeah, what was that about?
Titus. Yeah, like he could have told her the truth, but yeah, he's still trying to like
Titus,
fake it a little bit,
Still trying to live up to this image of what he thinks a knight is like, and so he was like, well, I'm just Maximus. I needed it. I want to be Knight Titus.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop where she's gonna find out the truth, but it hasn't happened yet, right? So, okay, so from there, let's just go back to the vault where Chet and Norm continue their Scooby-Doo type of investigation.
These two.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, they're snooping around. And then Betty, she catches them. And she's interrogating them with a smile, as she does. And Norm covers. He thinks of like a really, a very quick excuse.
We're
like,
planting potatoes.
Yeah, that's it.
But they were looking at Vault 31 entrance and noticed that people from 32 were trying to get into 31.
Yes.
So now they're questioning what was going on here that they were trying so hard to get into this other vault.
Yeah.
And a very grisly scene, I might add. That was a trip.
Oh, wow. I'm just
all
putting
those
maybe
skeletons.
That trips me out. Seeing that, the way they died, how they're all died, like trying to get in, but they all died in all these, how they were all doing something.
Yes.
Like maybe killing each other. I think I'm understanding what might have happened, and it may be a spoiler, maybe not. I don't know.
Well, wait, is it a spoiler if you're guessing? Because you don't
I'm
know,
just
right?
Guessing.
Yeah.
Right.
So
I haven't
what
seen
is it?
But
what do you think?
It seems to me like it just came together where 31 probably terminated them with a firebomb or just eliminated everybody in there, I think, because they all died in the act of trying to rebel, it looks like.
Okay.
Or get back and get in there, because we're going to unfold what we see now. It's see what Norm discovers is kind of like, oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So only 31 people come over. Okay.
Well, okay, so like that, so hey, you get all the internet points if you can really guess that, because you haven't seen the rest of the season. Um, but I will say, like, what it reminded me of is like that, you know, like the volcanic eruption in Pompeii or something, where people are just kind of frozen,
Yeah.
doing whatever it is they were doing.
Yeah.
And that's a little weird, right?
Yeah.
But
Well, they were like killing each other, it looked like.
yeah, there
in
was
some
that.
poses.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
a
wild.
lot of things didn't really make sense, but either way, Norm is really getting suspicious of everything at this point. Like, he doesn't trust anything now. You know, he kind of feels it feels like he's you know, Neo waking up from the Matrix and just kind of being like, I don't believe any of this shit.
And
Right?
Betty keeps giving him looks like, what's he doing?
Yeah.
She knows you know that I know that you know,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
There's something up, and I'm keeping my eye on you, but, you know, she's trying to figure out, I think, what he's trying to figure out, so.
But she does it with a smile every time, and so it's just, you know,
As a true, what are they elected as?
Overseer.
the overseer.
Overseer.
Yeah.
As a true overseer, you're always on.
Yes. And speaking
If you're
of
living, you were sent there to do that.
yeah, it's almost like you were sent there to do that, right? Which we'll find out later. But we cut back to Vault 33, where so we're there with Vault 33, where we learn how the overseer elections actually work. And that was so funny, dude. It reminded me of like electing someone for like the PTA or something. It was just so like wholesome.
Yeah, I
know,
put up
very
10
democratic.
posters. Like, I campaigned really hard. I put up 10 posters. You know, they were really nice posters too. So
Yeah, and they didn't have a chance, right? Because Betty.
well, he goes into the voting booth, and he's like, "Oh, who am I trying to kid? I vote for Betty too."
Exactly. Because Betty used to be, you know, she was an overseer before already. Plus, she's the only one that is like on the PA, you know, talking to people.
Yeah.
Well, you know, what is it? Roger and Woody, or Reg and Woody, they're just putting up a couple of posters, and they think they actually have a shot. But we know that they have no chance. So that's just really interesting.
And the guy in front of Reg telling him, you know, I'd really like to vote for you, but you know, my vote's already going to be for somebody else. You know, he keeps hedging his bets. He's like, he doesn't want to be mean and say that I'm not voting for you, but he keeps kind of implying
he's like,
that
I'm voting for Betty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a democracy, but it's a landslide. I mean, for her to get 98.2% or whatever it is. So Reg voted for who? Himself?
No,
or
he
the
voted
other
for
guy?
Betty. No, he's like, who am I kidding? I'm
who am
voting
I
for Betty
kidding?
too.
Okay. So Norm voted for someone else or didn't vote.
It had to be Norm and Woody. Like, they might have been the only two people that didn't vote for Betty.
Okay.
Maybe Chet. I don't know. But yeah. But either way, she was like the clear front runner, right?
Oh, she couldn't vote for herself, I guess. She might be the
Right.
because I don't think Norm voted. He was off for doing research.
That's true. Yeah. I
So-
think you're right. And so Norm is still digging, and he uncovers something weird, something you mentioned, Travis, which is every single previous overseer came from Vault 31. Huh. Why is that? What was that?
This is where it was going over my head a little bit. I was
Okay.
kind of like, what
Gets
is
a little
he?
deep.
Okay, this is where I was like, I need to talk to the guys about this.
You
What's
got to watch
happening.
stuff that's on the screen
Yeah.
and like read the
Well,
prompt.
the thing is, you're not really supposed to know yet, Sydney. So,
Yeah.
you know, this is like kind of the mysteries they're dropping. As Paul was saying earlier, like they're bringing up more questions now, which is, hey, every other overseer came from Vault 31. Why is that? Right? And they had like this saying of like, what was the saying?
Oh,
If you're feeling glum,
Yeah.
vote for 31.
Yeah, and that's all everybody kept repeating. You know, they're like, if you
Yeah.
don't know what to do, if you're feeling glum, vote for 31. That's a safe bet, you know?
Yeah. It
Yes.
feels like when something happens and everybody's glum.
Yeah.
That's funny.
And so, it felt like, okay, something's going on here. Don't know exactly what. But something's going on. And so Sid, I think it'll start to make more sense as the season goes on, but they just wanted
And
you
to
to be
be
asking that question now, I
Okay.
guess.
I wasn't sure if it was something I was supposed to get yet.
No, not yet.
right.
Yeah.
Well, and this is maybe where Alex would jump in with his, like, even if you look even deeper above her, you see his father's name. His father came from 31.
Mm-hmm. And then someone else came from 31. We'll find out later. Yeah, go ahead.
And in a later scene, he asks the girl who got the fork stuck in her eye,
Yeah.
hey, you're from 31. What about it? What was good about it? And she says, she kind of looks suspicious at him also, and says, well, maybe, the mashed potatoes were better. And he goes, yeah, that's what my dad said too. And he drops it.
Yeah. And Norm is really smart in that way, right? Like he's not revealing his full suspicions to anybody. He's just kind of taking note of like, okay, that's weird. Huh.
The scene where he kind of does that is right in front of her when they're at the Jello cake. The Jello cake cracks me up. I don't know why.
Dude.
It's Jello on top of a cake, and they wheel it out and it's all jiggling.
Yeah. And talk about Paul when he was saying like, oh, some things are unbelievable. I cannot believe that people prefer that Jello cake to apple pie. Whenever Chet said that, I was like, I call bullshit. How can anyone think that?
Right. Because they're all told to, because it's 31's favorite dessert.
I almost stopped watching the show. I just couldn't, it was unbelievable. Couldn't believe it.
Deal breaker.
All right. So next we go back to the road where Maximus tries to catch Lucy up on 200 years of history. She's asking like, hey, so what's happened over the past 200 years, right?
Mhm.
And he's kind of explaining it to her. Huh?
Sparked by the billboard.
Yes.
He kind of
not yet. But
he kind of acts confused, I think, by her question, like, what do you mean what's happened? They have such different reference points. She's been underground in a vault, and he says, we thought monsters were in the vaults. And she's like, and we thought nobody was alive on the on the surface of the earth. We were going to repopulate it.
Yes. What was it called? The reclamation.
Yes.
That they were all working towards, right? And so yeah, there was that difference in how they viewed history, right? Because she thought, oh, the bombs were dropped so long ago. But then Maximus is like, no, actually, I remember that when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So which one is right? And we'll find out a little bit later that it was actually Maximus, right? But for here, at this point, she's talking about her strategies, and tactics, and it's basically the vault way. And Maximus explains like, no, like that's not how it is out here. This is the Wasteland way. And I thought it was funny how she basically calls him out on like the Brotherhood and saying, wait, so you use pre-war tech to find pre-war tech to make sure no one else uses pre-war tech? Huh. And, he agreed that's kind of a logic loop. Yeah, he didn't really think about it like that before. And then that's where we get to this funny scene. I think it's just hilarious where this couple wants to pass them on a narrow bridge, and Lucy is trying to negotiate, and they ask about, if they're armed, and Maximus is just like, nope. And
she's
yeah,
like,
it was
yes,
just really funny.
Yeah, we are armed, and he's just don't say that, don't say anything,
Yeah,
and again she goes back to her naivety, that she believes that these people are telling her they're not armed, and she's going with that, and she's not even ready to pull her weapon. She even pushes it to the side, kind of back behind her, like she couldn't grab it easily.
Oh, I thought she was trying to hide it.
Well,
Like,
she was trying to keep it away from
Yeah.
Maximus.
He tried to grab it, so she was like,
yeah,
hell no, I'm
I was yelling, don't give him your gun. Don't give him your gun. You know, no.
The neighbors are like, what?
Well, it would have been so if she would have given Maximus the gun, maybe he wouldn't have got shot, you know?
Yeah,
Because
but
she's trusting this other couple when they said they're not armed either.
Right.
it seemed shady until he had her back.
Yeah. Yeah. So they're walking across with their arms raised and because this is her idea, right? Like, hey, let's just be honest with each other and have our arms raised and no one will get hurt. But I guess it was the girl fiend. And help me out with this because I wasn't sure because a couple people that I heard that they covered this, they kind of got it wrong in my opinion. They said, "Oh, they were wanting to like do something to Lucy, and that's why they pulled their guns." But I thought it was they recognized the pit boy on her arm and wanted that. What
Yeah.
did you guys think?
That's what it was for me.
I was wondering
100%.
why they clocked that, like zoomed in on the radar, the pit boy.
Yeah, the pit boy.
I was unsure. I was,
I don't know.
they were up to something sketchy, but, it was, I don't know if they just wanted to rob everything that they had and kill them and eat them or whatever. And, but it was funny that, Lucy and Maximus are on one side of the bridge, as they're crossing and the other group is on the other people are on the other side of the bridge. Like, okay, we'll walk over here. You walk over there. And then all hell breaks loose.
Yeah, it doesn't go as planned, right? I thought it was just because like the pit boy is like a valuable piece of equipment that, they were going to kill them for basically.
But I don't know how they would know what the pit boy is because, how many vault dwellers have been out on the surface. So,
well,
that's what I was going to tie it to is like, oh, she's a fiend. Maybe she sees a vaulty as like a prime cut of meat. Like, oh, that's kind of maybe what I was thinking. Well, that acknowledges, oh, it's a vault dweller. She's,
that'll make some really delicious ass jerky.
Yeah.
That's what they're thinking.
Sure.
But also remember when Lucy went to that shop, there was a pit boy there on the wall, like that was for sale. So I think it's just seen as like a valuable piece of technology that is rare, But who knows? Maybe they would have ate her after too. I mean, she's near mint condition.
Well,
right?
and you saw those teeth have been gnawing on some nasty stuff too. So
yeah, exactly. Nasty wasteland ass jerky.
Yeah, mint condition. Only one replaced finger.
Yeah, only one finger that's a little damaged.
Little green or brown.
Yeah. And so the fiends get shot and Maximus gets shot in the process in his shoulder, right? And
it's just a graze.
Yeah, that's what he says. It's just it's just a scratch. He's playing it off. He really wants to impress Lucy, I think. But then then we go back to Vault 33, and we get a glimpse in their democratic system, as we talked about before, where we kind of see like, wait a minute, this isn't real. This is kind of a sham democracy. No one's expecting anyone else to win, really. And we get, Norm, who's questioning Stephanie, as you said, Paul, earlier, where he's just like, you know what? Why is Vault 31 so different? And she says the mashed potatoes taste better, which he knows is a lie, but
well, he says my father said that too.
Yeah, kind of plays it off, right? And so I'll just move past that one and go to the other thing that you mentioned, Travis, where we see Maximus and Lucy come up to this billboard for Shady Sands, which is from the new California Republic, we find out. And Lucy is shocked to find that the reclamation already happened, but it was without Vault 33.
And
not only
she's
that,
totally bummed.
she's
like,
totally bummed. This is what she's been thinking about her whole life.
Right. This
Yeah.
was our purpose. And then he says, well, it didn't work anyways.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny. If it makes you feel better, it didn't work out. I was like, well, in this instance, it would. This is the only thing that would make me feel better.
Yeah.
It don't work out.
Yeah, because she's thinking like, and everyone else in the vault are thinking, and you kind of see this in the earlier episodes when they're trying to like rehabilitate the raiders or whatever, but they just think like, oh, we're just gonna come up and bring civility to the wasteland. Everyone's gonna love it. They're gonna really appreciate it, and we're just gonna totally change what's up here. And they have no clue that they're just gonna get completely wiped out if they did that.
Mhm.
Right?
Right.
And so and I think this is part of what Lucy's this is kind of like how her plan gets shattered, because not only does she see this sign where it's like, wait a minute, there was 30,000 people in this city and it's just completely wiped out, but then they walk over and see this huge crater where the city was bombed, and that just, floors her basically.
Yeah. Well, I gotta say, I mean, it's pretty wild that, okay, this is all depicted there, and James, you're from there. I mean, it's okay. California somehow made it through the. I don't know. I think Texas is gonna be stronger for set up for like if this were to happen.
The South shall rise again.
Yeah.
This was one of those parts where Maximus says something where he says that, she says, what's going on? What happened? And he says, well, everybody has their own idea on how to save the world and nobody agrees.
Yes, which was the smartest line coming from the dumbest character, right?
Usually, I mean, it is the simplest things that are the most profound. Like,
But that was like really profound, where I was like, you know what? That kind of describes our entire world now. Like, everyone wants to save the world. They just disagree on how. And I don't know, it was just really profound. Yeah, you're right, Paul. Like it kind of stopped me in my tracks as I was watching it, like, damn, Maximus said something actually of substance. Huh. Yeah, it was good. And
then there's the flashback of Maximus getting saved by the knight.
Yes. And
triggered some PTSD, it looks like.
And I think that was one mystery that was solved, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because when you saw that flashback in an earlier episode, you're wondering like, wait, how can this be? Because, Maximus isn't 200 years old. How did he survive a bombing by staying in this refrigerator or whatever? And it was because there was another bomb that went off. It wasn't the one from the Great War or anything. It happened in his lifetime. And so that kind of connected finally.
And then for them to be living on the planet and the bomb, like this original for her generation down there is like, oh, they survived it because their community went in the vaults underground. That was their way of saving, like, or what they did.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever usually seems like it'd be the wealthy that that would have the means to do that, or
maybe so.
Yeah,
maybe so. And so, okay, so now we cut back to Lucy and Mac. Well, we're still with Lucy and Maximus, because as Lucy finds out that Maximus was this survivor, she also discovers that his shoulder is way more busted than he thought, or than he let on. And
mega busted.
Yeah, he needs some medical attention for real. He's bleeding out. And so they find this abandoned medical lab, and Lucy thinks, oh yeah, there must be a first aid kit inside, which I don't know. Whenever I saw that, I was like, wait a minute.
And Maximus is like, don't go in there. You don't know what's in there.
Well, first, like, this is a long time after like the apocalypse started. Like, why would you still think there's medical supplies in this building?
Well, it kind of makes sense. What kind of building was it? I didn't catch.
It was a medical laboratory.
I mean, she's not crazy for thinking like,
I think
there's first aid kits on the wall that it probably made it through,
Don't you think people would have picked that off by now? Like, don't you think it would have been, everything would have been snatched up?
That shows her naivety again,
Yeah,
She's
She's just
going
trying to
in.
help.
I'm gonna go find it. We need help, and I'm gonna go in here and find it. And he's like, "Don't, wait!" And before he knows it, she's already gone.
She's already in there because she's a hero, and it is so funny because when they enter, and you see like kind of the lights overhead, and you don't see her anymore. You just see Maximus as he's kind of like looking at what's going on here. And I laughed out loud when I saw that, like, it was literally a sticker that looked like a room full of supplies that tricked him into going into there and then falling through that trap door. It's just a sticker.
And it traps him in there, it sprays some gas, and he falls through the floor.
Yes.
I didn't even put two and two together, like, oh, the lights are on. Like, I just was like, oh, they're just in this new environment. Like, I was just like, oh, they went in that building. I didn't even put together, like, there's electricity, there's, like, lighting. What's going on?
Not only was there electricity, Travis, but, like, did you notice how the lights weren't just flickering? They were, like, leading towards that door.
Oh, like,
yeah.
like,
did you notice that?
A runway.
Yeah, they were, like, trying to move whoever was there towards that. Exactly. And it worked. Okay, and so
it was hilarious, though, when they felt like, when he fell, or wait, shoot.
Dude, when he just rubbed the wall and it's just a sticker, that made me laugh so hard. Okay, so back in the vaults, Betty wants everyone in Vault 33 to go and resettle Vault 32.
Well,
and Chet and Norm are shocked.
She shows them, She takes them into 32.
She takes them into 32, and Chet and Norm are shocked to see that it's been completely cleaned up. All the bodies have been removed, and it's to the tune of "What a Difference a Day Makes." And that just that just cracked me up too.
And Norm keeps having the flashbacks of what he saw and then how it was cleaned up, and what he saw and how it was cleaned up, and there's blood everywhere, and then all of a sudden it's clean, or there's fresh paint on the wall,
And my question to you guys is, how do you think that happened? Like, did you have any theories on that?
On the cleanup?
31 came in and cleaned it.
Okay.
What
about you guys?
I don't know. I really don't. I was just like, what is happening right now? What is happening?
Yeah. Did you think Betty was just like a cleaning machine and she just went in there and cleaned it all herself?
No, I don't. I don't think she did that. No.
It was like the SpongeBob, GIF where she's got a vacuum and a mop and a duster.
My conspiracy is getting deeper. I think 33 and 31 are. I think 32 is how they keep the population going. They move people from 33.
Okay.
And they recycle it because people go crazy, and then there was a rebellion, and they had to. Anyways, that's where my conspiracy is going.
Okay. All right.
And Betty asks Norm, "Did you find anything interesting?" As he looks around.
Yeah, very
Big
suspiciously,
line.
right?
And
he says, "You did a great job cleaning up."
Yeah. And then he asks, "What happened to my mother's Pip-Boy?"
Yes. And Betty says, "Oh, she was buried with it." And Norm's father and Betty buried her themselves. That was what she said to him. And she says all of this with probably the most threatening, pleasant smile I've ever seen on a person on TV. But she played it so perfectly, right? Like, she just smiles every time. Doesn't really give it away. Has a total poker face. And you can just tell something else is going on, though. Norm thinks it for sure.
Norm is Lucy's brother, right?
Correct.
Just clarifying. So her dad allegedly buried her with the Pip-Boy.
Buried their mom. Yeah.
But
Betty
we
and her
know
dad.
that the mom's Pip-Boy was the one that opened the vault, right?
Yes.
Vault
so
32.
sketchy.
From the
outside.
From the
Like
outside.
from the outside opened.
Yeah.
Come in.
Okay.
So I think at that point, Norm is like, okay, I know you're lying now. but
Yeah.
he can't prove anything. He just knows that she's lying.
And she's looking at him like, I know you're trying to figure this out, or you're trying to figure out something, but I'm just going to smile and tell you the company line.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
When things are glum, vote Vault 31. All right. And so we come to the final scene where we see that after Maximus and Lucy are trapped, drugged, and unconscious, they wake up on these cots. And it's really cool because Lucy gets up and she looks out the window, and they both wake up eventually, and Lucy says, well, we're in the best place in the world, a vault. And the episode ends there.
Hustle and bustle is happening in that vault too.
Something's going on, right? There's a lot of people in there doing stuff.
I wonder if that's Vault 31.
Okay. Is that what your guess is?
Yeah.
All right. I love getting guesses from you guys because you haven't seen the rest of the season. So
it really unfolded a lot there, and the past makes sense as a title because they did cover a lot and tie a lot of the
I
past
just don't know
up.
how big the vaults are, So they haven't really shown you an overall scheme of the vault. They have different rooms, and there's obviously crops growing in places and stuff like that, but we don't have a sense of how many acres or how large these vaults actually are.
Right. And so to Travis's point, if it is the same vault, that would have to be huge, right? I mean,
no, Ryan, I'm saying, how far she traveled? Pretty far,
very far. Yeah.
So it's okay. All right, scratch the 31 guess.
Okay. So what are you guys thinking then? Any other theories, Sydney or Paul?
I don't know which vault it is, but to me it seems like a way that maybe they're trying to get people to help repopulate the vaults. So if they get a semi-normal person who goes in there trapped and gets on a gurney or whatever, that, hey, is this a keeper or is this somebody we get rid of? This is somebody who can help us repopulate or not.
Yeah.
No.
After they trap them and drug them, then they decide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I'm really confused on the whole vault situation, but I just know Lucy is finding out kind of her whole life has been a lie. So,
yeah.
But yet
Yeah.
she's acknowledging that, hey, we just found the greatest thing in the world. We found a vault.
Right.
He's
she feels
terrified.
home.
She's
But you're right, Sid. Like it is confusing, and it's meant to be. You're not supposed to really understand what's happening yet, but they're just kind of presenting this situation, and they want you to ask these questions. Like what the hell is going on with Vault 31? How are they in another vault?
Yeah.
So
I
yeah,
did
you're supposed
find
to be asking
myself.
those.
I did find myself saying, like, I guess at the end I was just like, that's a perfect way for that to like go, like for them to end up in a vault. Like I was like, of course they would be there.
Yeah, it makes sense, and it's a nice like symmetry, right? Because she's left the vaults, had this crazy experience, adventure, nearly died many times, and then now she's back in this place that she's been describing to Maximus as like the perfect place to live, right? So it's really a good setup for the next episode.
Circle.
Yeah. And did you guys feel the need to go to the next episode at this point?
I was about to.
Yeah.
I was about to play another one. I
I
had to shut
can't
my
wait
computer
to
down.
watch the next one.
Right.
I'm watching it after this call.
It takes some
I'm just
discipline for
getting-
sure. Yeah. Because I had the benefit of just binging it, so
I
yeah.
think it definitely would be better binging, but I held off too. So I'm just kind of like, I want to see what's going to happen now.
It's- Careful,
James
both your feet are
is
wet
the only
now,
one
Paul.
that knows.
Oh, true.
Yeah, Paul has 2 feet in, maybe
Yeah.
this time.
And I'm trying to ignore the commercials for the new season too. So
Yeah.
Yes. And I got to go back and watch that trailer because I don't think they spoil anything, but I hope they don't spoil it for you guys. But okay. So any overall thoughts for this episode? Now that we've just covered it, or just something that you haven't mentioned yet?
I don't know. For me, again, it's just kind of seeing how people are changing through time. And, maybe Maximus was hard or did what he had to do to get by. And now he's seeing somebody else who's saying, look, we have a better way of doing it. And then she's gone on this journey of innocence to less innocent. I wouldn't say, anything close to a surface dweller or anything, or a raider, but
Right.
she's starting to question a lot more of, what's gone on in this world. And again, her asking what's happened in the last 200 years and him really not explaining anything. I'm waiting for that reveal. I hope they're going to lead us through that and show us exactly what's happened over that 200 years.
I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised. What about you, Sid or Travis?
I'm just curious to see how this season is going to wrap in these last 3 episodes and kind of maybe get some of these questions answered moving into season 2. So we'll see, but I'm digging it.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I thought it's pretty crazy how much they've been able to even pack in that episode. Just like how much they told you with that. And just, you're like looking back and thinking, gosh, I didn't know what was going on. Well, they flashed back to a bunch of that and really sewed up a lot of those threads there so that, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. And now you like all these characters. Now you're like, oh, is he good? Is he not good? Well, for me, that just shows how, gosh, we really don't know what it would be like if everything fell out, if everything falls out, economy collapses or nuclear bombs go off or whatever. People are in crazy creatures. We have no idea which way people are going to go. Who's going to be what?
Yeah. Who knows what's going to happen, right? And I think whenever I was first watching this episode, when I got to here, I was thinking that, man, I think it's really cool that you don't have to know anything about the video games to really enjoy the show. They've done a great job of the world building and the character development, all the humor mixed with some action, mixed with some mystery. And it just made me want to keep watching, which is I think I binged the whole season within 2 days or 3 days. And it was just because it was firing on all cylinders. Like I said before, it just made me want to keep going. And so I hope everyone continues to go along this journey with us. I know that the episodes have been out for a while, but if anyone is, watching an episode and then listening to our recap, I'm glad we're not spoiling anything, but it just, hopefully it gets everything kind of ramped up for season 2. So I'm excited to keep going.
I've even considered getting the video game to play to see how the video game matches the show.
I was thinking about that too.
You should, man. I would love to hear what you think of it based on, watching the show. There's not going to be any spoilers or anything, so I think you're good.
That's what I was going to ask you, is these characters that are in the TV show are not just pulled from the game. This is a whole unique story that's been created in the universe of Fallout.
Yeah. I think the character types, raiders, ghouls, vault dwellers, they're all there. But yeah, I don't think it's you're not playing as Lucy or anything.
I think he said last one, and I looked it up. It's just when you play on that, it's Sole Survivor is what it says when you start, I think. So, it's just, you don't know who you are. You're nobody. It's whoever you, I guess, make yourself out to be in the game.
Yeah. So if you ever play it, Paul, report back. That'd be really cool to hear.
That was fun. Thank you for joining us for this week's episode as we covered Season 1, Episode 5 of Fallout. Join us next week as we cover Episode 6 and we can all catch up before the next season is released on December 17th.
Yeah.
Till next week, I would love to know, if you're on a mission in the Wasteland, would you team up or choose to travel alone? Let us know in the comments. Please like and subscribe, turn on that notification bell. Find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and X. Still so weird calling it X. I can't
I know.
not call it
Yeah,
Twitter.
I know. Tweet us on X.
I
And
don't
that's-
know.
Just call it garbage.
Yeah. Garbage, X garbage. But four guys would really appreciate a 5-star review. Thank you for listening, and that's a wrap on this week's episode of Cinema So Far.